They had their voice. They were speaking their mind. They were traveling all over the world. And I was like, how you do that? That's what I want to do when I get 50 or 60. So that was the beginning where I began to see a different reality around aging. Because in my 20s, now in your 30s, you old. Then it was at least you got in your 40s before you got old, right? And here I was seeing women in 50s and 60s, and they weren't fitting that mold and had no intentions of filling that mold.
Well, hello. Welcome back as we continue with our third season of Wellness 360. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm your host, Carmen Milagro. Now, if this is your first episode, you're in for a treat, but you may also want to binge watch seasons 1 and 2 to feel more at home. What am I saying? You are at home. You've been watching, learning, engaging from your private sanctuary, and hopefully feeling a little bit better about your life choices and maybe even the world in general for having learned something new. Now, that's for those of you who have been keeping up. If you've been with us from the beginning, you already know that I like to mix things up. So I'll not only share insights on the world of hemp CBD, or how to find your joy, or my thoughts on aging, but we'll also share other experts' experiences, their personal stories of resilience or abundance mindset, so that we can make more informed decisions about our own overall well-being in all areas of our lives. The goal is always the same: to view wellness, hemp CBD, plant, Western and Eastern medicine, and other health options from a 360 lens as we explore different philosophies and opinions about the multi-billion-dollar health and wellness industries. And when millionaires and billionaires are part of our coaching network, you know you've got something worth tuning into. No matter what we share with you, remember, it's always your choice to accept or reject any information that we share with you on this series. You should always do your own research and decide which ideas, suggestions, modalities, or protocols resonate with you and which guests, coaches, or healers you connect more deeply with. For the season 2 finale, we talked about aging and what I truly loathe about aging. And many of you who watch were indeed surprised by my perspective. It's not what you think, and you'll have to watch season 2, episode 12 to find out. Now, the numbers are in because it was one of the most viewed episodes. I decided we need to do another episode on aging for women over 50. My guest for today's session is another extraordinary wellness coach, 65-year-old Asara Tsehai. I can almost hear your collective gasp as I mention her age, but trust me, it's okay with her. She's not merely engaging in talk. She's insisting on creating dialogue surrounding conscious aging for women of all ages. As the visionary founder behind the Juicy to 100 Nation, a dynamic sisterhood of women who refuse to let age define them, Asara is not only dedicated to aging gracefully, she's leading others to age outrageously and to live delicious lives even beyond 100 years old. Asara has inspired over 10,000 women on their wellness journey with a wealth of experience in transformational team building and employee wellness. Asara has transformed nonprofits, corporations, and other organizations alike. As CEO of Ancient Treasure, she also offers her clients an exclusive combination of ancient health rituals and a lifestyle promoting radiant health and holistic skincare in one transformative experience. Asara, welcome to Wellness 360. I'm so excited you're spending a few minutes with us today. How are you?
I'm excited to be here and spend some time with you as well. I'm so excited about our conversation.
And you and I have talked, the reason I think we discovered that we have a lot in common. Obviously, not just the areas that we focus on in wellness and empowering and uplifting other women, but your husband introduced us. So thank you to Robert for doing that.
Yes. And even that, we're newlyweds, right? So we've only been married with 2 years. So I got married at 63. So for you women who are in their 60s and you're in your 60s and you're thinking, oh, will I ever find love again? Is it possible? Not only me, but I have other women in my circle who are marrying for the first time in their 60s. So, yeah.
I love it. And that would be me one day.
There you go. Yes, it will.
I really wanted to ask you, besides the fact that we've already known each other, we've met in person, you were at one of our summits, etc. But what drew you to be a guest, to accept the invitation to be on Wellness 360? What was it about this platform that drew you in?
Well, what drew me in is, I remember watching your interview with a guest, and it was just so real, authentic, relaxed, a real conversation you were having with a real woman. So that is what attracted me. Are real people, real women having conversations about things that impact us.
Exactly. I love it. Thank you. Well, that's actually right back at you because you were invited. So, you say that, or let me backtrack. Some people say that women over 40 are on the decline, but you say the opposite. And I want to get this right. You declare you plan to be fine, fit, and fabulous beyond 100 years young. So I think that's a great place to start the conversation.
Yes, it is. This is the result of an experiment that I started in my early 20s. I was living in Europe and primarily in Paris, and I was meeting these fabulous women who were in their 50s and 60s. And they were so confident in their skin. And they were very, they had professional lives, yet they were very artistic in the way that they lived their lives, the way that they dressed. They had their voice. They were speaking their mind. They were traveling all over the world. And I was like, how you do that? That's what I want to do when I get 50 or 60. So that was the beginning where I began to see a different reality around aging. Because in my 20s, now in your 30s, you're old. Then it was at least you got in your 40s before you got old, right? And here I was seeing women in 50s and 60s. They weren't fitting that mold and had no intentions of filling that mold.
Yes, I love that. And it's so important, right, for young women to, whether it's being mentored or working alongside or just meeting women like ourselves who aren't shy about who we are and what we do and why we do it. It's an age-old cycle. Representation matters, and it matters on so many different levels. So I love the fact that it was 20-year-old Asara that had that seed planted within you to do that, and now you're reciprocating. You are doing that for others. I think that's beautiful.
Because that was the piece, because I'm one of those people that ask a lot of questions, right? So as I was meeting these fabulous women, I tease, depending on what kind of teacher you were, I was a great student or not. Right. My hand was always up, right? Yeah. And so I asked them a lot of questions. And so my conclusion was, okay, so if I eat good, I speak up, I do work that I love, I follow my heart, be active, move your body, be around people that are positive, be a part of a community that you can thrive in. That these were the things, were the ingredients, be as non-toxic as possible on your skin and what you put in.
Right.
That I should be able to get, for me, based on what they were saying, I should be able to get 100 well-lived years out of this life. And I started this experiment at 21. And my first benchmark was to be 65. Like, so I was probably one of the few 21-year-olds looking forward to being 65 years young.
I love this so much because it just reinforces why we connected so well. And I have to share with you, I was in my late 20s when I decided, and I knew that this was going to be one of my truths, that when I turned 65, I was going to go back to school to become a filmmaker. So I'm only, soon I'll be 60. So I'm 5 years away from that goal. It might happen sooner, but that was in my mid-20s what I said I would do. So the fact that you're saying this is just wonderful. I love it.
Right, that we still have things that we want to do. There's still accomplishments that we have yet to complete on. And that's why I say the other thing is life begins at 50, right? So
that's a perfect segue. Like, what's the foundation for that principle?
Yeah. So I assert that when you are in your 50s, like in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you're figuring out life. You don't have a clue. You're like wandering in the wilderness, trying to figure it out and bumping into other people who are hopefully trying to figure it out with you, looking for information from them same people who don't have a clue either, right? And then you get to 50, you kind of start, now I feel like you're on a path now. You've had enough experience in your life to be able to be discerning. And then that's the beginning of your entrance into this very, I call unique and juicy, delicious path. And that's the beginning of it, where you begin to start to focus a little bit more on you, what fulfills you, start to, look at your life a little closer. Is it meaningful? Is it fulfilling? You start looking, where do I want to be in 10 years? Like, where am I with my career? That's where that starts to happen. Is in your 50s, right? So that's why I say life begins at 50, because you have the maturity now, you have experiences and lessons learned. Not the lessons are over, but those kinds of lessons, hopefully you've learned better.
Right. And that's what we strive for that. Obviously, life might have other plans for us, but hopefully going forward, I remember exactly what you're describing. I do tangibly remember that when I turned 50. It was like this light bulb, like a click, like I just flipped on the switch and I went, oh, I'm letting go of all that other nonsense because I know what I know.
Right.
And I have a really good friend of mine who's also a coach, a life coach, and she calls it standing firm in your knowing. And I thought, oh, that's perfect. That's what it is. Yes. So I love it. We can have different names for it, but in essence, this is exactly what we're talking about, Exactly. So thank you for sharing that. I love it. And I think our viewers, sometimes this conversation, this short, succinct video can be life-changing for someone because it helps them flip that switch. So hopefully that's what we're doing here today. I think we are.
I think so too.
So I do want to move on. I want to be respectful of your time, but I also wanted to get into, you have some self-care practices that it's like your must-dos, let's call them that. And if you don't mind, I'd love for you to share what the top 5 are and why you insist on these practices. What does it do for you?
Great. I think the first one for women is to make sure we have our voices in our lives. That one was a huge one for me. I was working with a tantric master, and I was probably in my 50s, and I was saying early 50s, late 40s, and I'm a teacher of women. And at that time, I was already a master teacher. So when he was saying how many, he gave me an experiment, and he said, I want you to go out in your world. And I think I probably visited him maybe either either twice a month or once a month. So we'll just say once a month. Right. And he said, I want you to be out in the world, and I want you to see how many times in your day you had something to say and you did not say it. And I thought, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm an evolved woman. Right. I have my voice. I started noting at the end of every day, like just even when it was happening.
Right.
Carmen, 32 times.
Interesting.
I had something to say and I did not say it.
Wow.
I was astonished.
Sure.
And I thought, if this is happening to me, an evolved woman, a master teacher of women, then I know what we're suffering with. And I began, and it took, Carmen, to really be honest with you, it took probably, it took a good 5 to 7 years of intentional work on that. For me now, I can't keep my mouth shut. And let me just share something, a little provocative. However, it is the truth. I remember I did a speech once to a group of business women, and it was entitled "From the Bedroom to the Boardroom." And my tantric teacher, one of the things that he was saying to me as a woman in this training, and I want to say, you know, a lot of people think Tantra is a sexual training. Tantra I define it, my teachers define it as being fully present, being fully present. So, so he was relating that if a woman can have her voice inside of her ecstasy, because so many women don't even have their voices inside of their ecstasy. Right. So if you don't have your voice inside of your ecstasy, you're not going to have your voice inside of being confronted or bringing up something that is confrontational. And that was the first place where I began to learn to have my voice. We'll have another discussion about how all
yes, we will. The wheels are spinning.
So, and I got a chance to see how one time I was getting ready they were laying people off. I was a contractor. I knew that they had underpaid me. I'd already made a decision. I was going to ask them for money, like when the contract ended. When the contract was ending, he was laying people off, but that did not matter to me because I could not keep my mouth shut anymore. So I had a conversation with him. And when he realized where I was going and I was going to ask for a raise, he was like, "You are one bold woman."
Thank you.
Yeah. And I walked away with a $10,000 raise when he was laying other people off. So it's true, but that's a whole nother conversation. So one, have your voice. You asked me for 5. That could take up 2.
Yeah.
And it's also cleansing. I realize, like, I'm thinking about the deeper things that have a really sustaining difference for you. So cleansing once a year. I'm in the middle of a cleanse right now, what I'll do for 10 days. But, you know, depending on where you are with cleansing, and I didn't say a fast, I said a cleanse. You could start with 3 days. You could do 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. But, you know, if you've never done it before, you want to do it under the guidance of someone. But that cleansing once a year is like, it gives your body a reset once a year to kind of like, okay, because it takes a lot of energy to digest food. So when you take that away, your body can use that energy for other things to repair and restore.
And I want to add to this. I know we're still only on number 2, but that's why I wanted to make sure we got going on this. But I wanted to add, I have that similar approach. Yes, I do a cleanse once a year, but I also have what I call my rotation of things for like I take supplements, right? But for a month out of every year, I stop.
Got it.
I don't do it. I'll give another one of my rotation. This is, again, we're not doctors. We are not claiming to be doctors. We're just sharing what we do that we have found that helps us.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm about to become 60 years old. And I've been doing this for over 25 years. So not only do I stop taking my supplements for a month out of every year, like you said, I just feel like it's my body's time to reset. And I don't do it all at once because I just figure that might be too traumatic. But the other thing that I do is in my rotation approach is, like, for example, and not everyone does this, but I love whole milk. I always have. Mm-hmm. But I don't drink it all the time. So what I do is I have a rotation of 3, and I only buy the pint size, the quart size, the small size, whatever. Yeah. Not the half gallon, right?
Right.
You every third one is whole milk, 2%, because I can't drink 1%. I just can't. I just won't. and soy milk. And I rotate them. So I'm not building up and stacking, because I enjoy it. I don't have it every single day, and I don't drink, I don't drink it by the gallons. But I do like my tea with a little milk sometimes, So things like that, I feel like we could do a whole workshop on all of this.
Yes, we could. I think number 3 would be drinking water. Sometimes we look for complicated methods, and it's really the simplest of things that can make the most difference. And so just drinking, if you're not used to drinking any water, just get to 64 ounces of water a day. Just do that. And my hack on how to get that amount of water in, because ideally we're moving to half your body weight in ounces, but a lot of us are not even drinking beyond 20 ounces a day. So getting to 64 will feel like a waterfall, right? So the hack is when you go to bed at night, take your reusable bottle and fill it up and put it by your bed. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't even have to get up out of bed, because you want to be drinking your water at room temperature, ideally, and because it does impact your circulation. And you just drink that room temperature water. My jar there, sitting there, is between 24 and 32 ounces of water. So before I go down to the kitchen and do all the things I do, I've already got somewhere between 16 and 24 ounces of water in my system. And it makes a huge difference in how I eliminate.
I love it. Okay, and then we've got one more, right?
Okay, the other one would be move. Move your body in a way that brings you joy. Like I'm into, and Carmen, I must say, so women, I want y'all to really look forward like I did to becoming 65. Because let me tell you, if I could get up and show you, I might just do that. At 65, I have the best banging body at 65 than I did at 40. Can I get up and just show you my banging body? Come on, let me just show you my banging body. I love it. You can see it. No, you can't see it, but I got curves, places I've never had before. I'm fit. I got some muscles. And so
I love it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm having a ball at 65. So I'm taking Pilates. And then I've been doing that for 2 years. But I thought, okay, I'm missing something. Then it came to the cardio. So I was walking around the lake. But I realized my love is dance. And I said, you know what? Let me go back to my African dance, because African dance, that's cardio. Yeah. So I'm back in African dance. I've taken like 4 classes, and I'm telling you, I was like, woo, build up some stamina.
Right. I love this. I love it. I couldn't agree with you more.
That's the key. Not just move, do something that brings you joy. Then it won't be hard to do it, to show up for it.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. Thank you. I actually talk about this in a previous episode of just how to find your joy. And it does include, for me and you, obviously, music, dance. It just is a part of it. And I don't know too many people that wouldn't agree with us. But you have to reframe it in how it can benefit you and how it can make you feel, and don't ignore that. I love our conversation so much. Thank you. But before I let you go, I want to do our Fast and Furious right off the top of your head. No overthinking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We've done this before, so I'm going to change.
Not that I remember, right? Okay.
I'm going to change the questions.
Oh, good. Okay, not that I remember the other one, but
yeah,
okay.
no. Let's see. If you could choose between a city or a beach vacation anywhere in the world, which one would you choose?
Fiji.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Okay. All right. Question number 2. What is your favorite guilty pleasure that doesn't cause you any guilt?
Guilty pleasure that doesn't cause me any guilt. Oh, I don't eat it often, but I love it. Sweet potato pie.
Ooh, a recipe for you.
And 2 things: sweet potato pie, and I lived in France, so I love these les tartes au poire, which are the pear tarts, but only the French ones. If they're not the
I know.
No guilt, just like it has a little thin thing of layer of cream or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. I know. My mouth is watering just talking about it. I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
There is a bakery, one of my favorite bakeries in Paris, Odette's. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay. And the last one. No, I like this one. I'm going to repeat this one with you. If you had to choose between sweats and a tiara, your choice would be
sweats. I like to get down deep and dirty, have fun, get my hands and my feet. And I'm a participatory, juicy kind of woman, not sit back and watch and look cute. Now I want to be cute, not look cute.
This is the perfect way to end our time together. Asara, I cannot thank you enough for spending this time with us, sharing so much of yourself, so much of your wisdoms, and so much of your joy. I love it. Which I know is bound to happen, our viewers, if they want to get a hold of you, if they want to touch base with you, connect with you, how do they do that?
So I actually have a gift for your viewers, and I just completed a guide where, it's called How to Keep Them Guessing Your Age. And it actually has the 8 personal tips that I actually do to look, because I've been told I look 50 and I'm 65. Right. So these are the things that I do to ensure that I look 50 when I am 65 years young. And so I have that for you. It's beautiful. And then if you get that, that will allow you to also, you give your email, you'll be updated on the different events and things that we have.
Perfect. And I think you and I do have to sit down and put something together jointly. I think it's time we do that. But thank you again. I loved having you so much on Wellness 360. I appreciate you. And thank you again.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, Carmen. My pleasure. Ashe.
Thank you. And all of you, thank you all so much, because the fact that you're here time and time again, I appreciate Asara sharing her enlightening, infectious views on women aging consciously. It's important that we continue to show up, and I appreciate you all for continuing to do that. If you want to get a hold of me for more information on all things Carmen Milagro and Divina, you will be able to scan my QR code at the end of this episode, or you visit divina.store, the website, or simply follow me on the socials. Don't forget, your well-being choices are literally always in your hands. I appreciate you coming back time and time again. That's it for Wellness 360 with Asara Tsehai. And I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.